Hello there. Last Friday, two things happened of significant interest to manufacturing. There was a report from the IPPR think tank, which lambasted the Conservative government for having flip-flopped on industrial strategy or not even having had one for 13 years. And that was supported by Make UK, the CBI, Jürgen Meyer, and many others. It was really highly critical. And then at 6 o'clock, the Treasury announced on social media that they were going to spend £4.5 billion between 2025 and 2030 investing in British manufacturing. What to make of this conundrum? Joined by Jonny Williamson, Chief Analyst. Jonny, what do you make of it all? Let's start with the £4.5 billion. What's it for?
Yeah, Nick. So 4.5 billion in funding announced for British manufacturing. It's going to be targeted across 8 sectors, and that's across the UK. The lion's share, I think around 2/3, has been earmarked for the automotive and aerospace sectors. Over 2 billion has been earmarked for the automotive industry and 975 million for aerospace. And this is broadly to support the development of zero-emission vehicles and aircraft. In a very similar vein, 960 million has been committed for a new Green Industries Growth Accelerator programme, and that will support various aspects of clean energy manufacturing, such as carbon capture, utilisation and storage, electricity networks, hydrogen, nuclear and offshore wind. Rounding off the package is 520 million, which has been allocated for life sciences manufacturing to really build on the UK's resilience for future health emergencies. And I don't think it's any coincidence that sectors such as these have been prioritised. The UK is a major international player in automotive, aerospace, clean energy and life sciences. We've got a very strong R&D ecosystem supporting all of those industries. We've got well-established supply chains, and we've got a really golden opportunity to capture skyrocketing global markets.
Well, given that industry leaders, including Stephen Phipson at Make UK, and there was Jürgen Meyer, and there was a CBI, had given the government a real kicking in this IPPR report earlier in the day, I'm wondering how they reacted on the news of the money from the Treasury.
Broadly speaking, it was all very positive. The announcement was praised by all the major trade associations and those operating in the areas set to benefit. And there's a real sense that this will help unlock private investments many, many times higher than this initial 4.5 billion. That being said, praise has been far from universal. While the government's commitment to supporting the sector is widely appreciated, the SME community in particular has raised concerns around how this funding is going to be distributed. I think small business leaders fear that large prime manufacturers will be the main beneficiaries, with the full positive impact not reaching the broader supply chain. So it's really crucial that small businesses, as we talk about a lot on Manufacturing TV, these are the backbone of innovation and agility. We've got to make sure these aren't left behind in these sorts of initiatives. So the government really must consider putting in measures to ensure that the funds trickle down throughout the entire supply chain.
The Made Smarter programme was initiated in 2017, but really with the Northwest pilot, and then gradually it's been tested in other regions. There was a bolt-on to this announcement, wasn't there, about Made Smarter being rolled out throughout England?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that announcement has been celebrated, broadly speaking. For those that don't know, Made Smarter is the government-funded, industry-led initiative to help manufacturers adopt and benefit from industrial digital technologies. We know the tangible impact digital technologies can deliver, and we also know that the UK has a lower adoption rate than many of its global peers. So any support to help move that needle should be applauded. I mean, it was recently announced that in the Northwest alone, as you said, the kind of flagship region for the Made Smarter programme, it's helped create more than 1,500 new jobs. It's upskilled a further 1,800 existing roles, and it's boosted the region's economy by almost £250 million. So if you multiply that programme across every region of the UK, and you can see why calls for a national rollout have been so persistent and compelling. So I'm sure many will be delighted that those calls have finally been acted upon.
Let's look at the politics of this, because we're in a very political age at the moment, almost hyper-political. The £4.5 billion has got a 2025 to 2030 timeframe. Now, we're not in the political game here, but many commentators are suggesting that the Tories may not be in power at that time. So what's going on? Will this tie Labour's hands? I mean, is this something Labour's going to buy into?
I think this is, broadly speaking, a win-win for the Conservative government. It could be a vital vote winner in a crucial upcoming election. And if they aren't in power to enforce it in 2025, then they can hold Labour's feet to the fire and make sure they do. Listening to the shadow business minister, Jonathan Reynolds, speaking at the CBI this week, it sounds like Labour are very, very pro-industry. So having their feet held to the fire, I don't think will challenge them that much. In fact, I think they'd rather welcome it.
Final point, Johnny, autumn statement tomorrow. Manufacturers led by Make UK have been pressing the government to make permanent the 100% expensing against tax of investment in plant and equipment. I'm wondering if that's going to be an added cherry on the cake on top of this package.
Certainly looks like that could be the case, Nick. And I get a sense that potentially all bets are off. Just less than a fortnight ago, the Chancellor said there was absolutely no room for tax cuts. Now he's saying there absolutely is. So with the parties back against the wall, who knows what they're going to pull out of the bag this week.
Johnny, thank you very much indeed. We'll watch with anticipation. This has been a special report from Manufacturing TV. I'm Nick Peters. Thanks for watching.